Alan, could you start by telling us why you're having to make such large cuts to council services?
Yes, I can. When we came into office in May this year, we inherited a £130 million hole in this budget at Nottinghamshire County Council. A few weeks later, the Conservative Liberal Democrat government made matters worse by moving the goalposts and turning that £130 million into a £154 million deficit. Unfortunately, therefore, and it's hugely regrettable to me, we have to make savings to address the deficit in our budget.
So, big figures, £154 million, but how will that translate? What will it mean for the average family in Nottinghamshire?
Well, it is a huge figure, very difficult figure for people to comprehend, I think. But undoubtedly, services right across Nottinghamshire will suffer as a result of this. There will be some closures and there will be some downsizing of services. In terms of the elderly and the very young, we're going to try and protect those services as much as possible. But it is inevitable that everybody will see some changes in the way services are delivered and the services they receive.
As I'm sure you're aware, people are struggling with the cost of living at the moment. Gas and electricity prices are going through the roof. Why would you want to add to that burden by putting council tax up?
I recognise that there is a huge increase in the cost of living and that some people are suffering quite considerably. But you know, the 4-year freeze on council tax has been a mistake for this council. And for other councils across the country. It's cost 2,700 jobs and decimated a lot of services that people value very highly and depended on. We can't continue operating like that. We have to bring revenue into the county council, and the money that the government's offering as part of a council tax freeze is nowhere near enough to cover it.
So obviously £154 million of cuts, lots of services going. How many jobs will be lost?
Well, I'm sorry to have to say this, but there will be jobs lost. We are looking, unfortunately, at something in the region of, well, several hundred. It's inevitable that if services close or reduce, jobs are going to suffer as a result of that. I think it's hugely regrettable that we're in this situation. It is of no fault of our own. It's government and the previous administration in County Hall, but unfortunately we will be seeing some reductions in the staffing levels at County Hall.
Why can't the council just cut out waste and improve its efficiency to make the savings rather than putting council tax up and putting jobs at risk?
Well, in recent years, we've improved considerably the way we work, the way we operate, the way we deliver services, to a point where I think we are extremely efficient. We are actually looking at some further measures that I think will bring in further efficiencies around shared services, around community ownership, and encouraging parish councils and community groups to deliver services, and looking at some outsourcing and some different ways of working that will make the service more efficient and make savings at the same time without necessarily compromising the quality of the service.
You say you've got to save £154 million over 3 years, but the proposals don't meet that full amount. Have you got your figures wrong?
No, we haven't got figures wrong. They are accurate. But it's difficult to predict what local government finance is going to be over the next few years. We've got a general election in 2015. The way local government finance is financed may change dependent on the outcome of that election. So, no, it's very, very difficult to predict at this point in time. But the figures are accurate. But we do believe that a reintroduction of the council tax will help us to address some of the shortfall in the finances, and a relatively moderate amount of less than 2%, say 1.99%, costing 38 pence a week to the average family, could bring in £5.5 million a year to this council, and that will go a long way to saving some of the services and helping people to retain their jobs.
Lots of cuts to make. How have you approached the difficult task?
Nottinghamshire County Council has conducted the most widespread consultation that we've ever conducted in the county on this particular issue. We're asking people what's valuable to them, what's important to them, and more importantly, what would they be prepared to see some reductions in. You know, we're here to serve those people, we're their representatives, and we're interested in hearing their opinion and for them to talk to us about where they think we should be taking services in the years to come. So I think it's really important actually that people do engage with this consultation and do give us a steer on what they think we should be doing in our communities.
Finally then, Alan, lots of doom and gloom. Is there anything positive about the council's future?
It is a difficult time, but it's not all doom and gloom. Since we came into office in May, we've brought forward some very important policy issues that will create some positive changes for the way people in Nottinghamshire live. I mean, we've talked about the living wage, we've introduced that. The extra care programme that we promised to bring in, we're doing. 20 mile an hour speed limits outside all schools. £1 million job skills and training fund. So there's some really important stuff coming forward that even in these difficult times are making a difference. We've tried to introduce fairness in tough times. That's important to us, that we're seen to be a council that is fair to people in the way that we deliver our services. And I think there's lots of positivity around, even in these very difficult times.